Hi, I'm John Ficarra. Welcome to Ficarra Classic. I am here with the irreplaceable mechanic Matt. Say hi, Matt.
Hello.
Or say hello, Matt. That works. We're going to catch you up on the garage today. We've got obviously the 911 Targa Limo. We got to catch you up on the Cannonball Audi behind us is in the garage now. And most importantly, what we're going to focus on in this episode is the Hippie 928 that we've turned into kind of a safari car with a lift kit now and all kinds of cool things. So we're going to get right off the bat, we're going to go straight to the Hippie car. We'll come back inside and check out the other stuff a little bit later. But I want to take the Hippie car for a drive because Matt just finished a big service on it. Full engine service, so it's running and moving and doing all kinds of things. And our friends have helped us lift it and do cool things to it. So I want to show that all to you right now. So let's go outside and take the Hippie 928 for a spin. All right, here we are with the Hippie 928. Now, just to catch you up, this was originally going to be a parts car for my Pasha car, but it was so nice that we decided to turn it into something that actually ran and moved. This is a 1979 Porsche 928. It's a Euro model. You can tell that one of the indicators, these side marker lights, and just a few other things that, let you know it's a Euro car. The difference of the Euro cars and the early 928s was that they made quite a bit more power than the US versions. I think it was like 240 versus like 217 horsepower, which back, in the late 70s, that was pretty decent. So we said, hey, let's do something fun with it. The Pasha car was going to be my kind of really cool road car, and Safari is all the rage. So we're like, hey, let's Safari it. Let's throw on this paint job. The Hippie paint job is from the 1970 917 race car. This whole beautiful hand-done paint job was done by Christopher Michaels last year. He did the wheels as well. We finally got the wheels on the car because we finally got tires for the wheels. And we decided on these Falken Wild Peaks. I got these from my friend Joe Ribello at the 4x4 shop here in California. Fantastic guy. He's one of the people that helped me outfit and get the 6-wheel Range Rover going. So I'm not an off-road guy, so I go to off-road guys. And he set up with these great tires. You'll also notice it's lifted now. Now that's another thing. I know how to lower cars. I know how to set up race cars, but off-road stuff's not my wheelhouse. So we went to my friend Greg at PRG Products in Auburn, California, and he made custom lifting parts for this. He made little risers for the rear and the front. He got about a 2-inch lift out of this, which is pretty remarkable considering this was never designed to go off-road. He got a nice lift front and rear. We have yet to take it off-road. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take it around my property and zing it along some fire roads and then see how it drives. Now it should drive pretty well. It's the stock suspension just lifted, and he figured out all the geometry, figured it out, if there was going to be any bump steer or any problems with it, and he thinks it's all pretty straight. So the only really way of finding out is taking it for a drive. So come with me. We're going to go take the Hippie 928 for its first safari drive out on the dirt, and we'll see how it goes. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, I can totally get used to this. This is a lot of fun. For the first drive,
no clunks, weird rattles, or anything going on, and it drove really smooth and relatively predictable, and I look forward to driving it some more to see what it can do. But this is really cool. I totally understand the whole Safari thing now. I get it. I totally get it. And this isn't even done yet. So I'm looking forward to, like, we're gonna do some more with this. I think maybe a skid plate on the front and some other things. I'm gonna be bringing this to Radwood in San Francisco in July. So if you're coming to that event, you can come take a look at it, and we'll have done some more stuff to it. But yeah, I'm a Safari convert. This is a blast, and actually the 928 makes a pretty good Safari car. So I'm really, really excited. Again, thanks to Joe and Greg for your help building it so far, and of course to Matt. Right, Matt? Say hi, Matt. So thanks to Matt for doing all the great work. This is gonna be such a fun car when it's done, and so far, so good. Okay, let's go back into the garage and catch you up on some of the other projects.
All right, I'm dusted off. We dusted off the car. That was a fantastic adventure. I am so stoked again about my new Safari and Safari adventure. So yay. Yay for the Hippie 928. So let's move into the rest of the garage and just give you a quick rundown of what's been going on. First, the other 928, my Pasha 928. What did I decide to do with the engine? Well, people were great. So many ideas were thrown out, of course. What for you, Matt? What did you want?
LS swap.
LS swap. And I decided not to do an LS swap. I also decided not to do anything else. I decided to stay with the Porsche 928 V8. But what I did do is I found on a great Facebook marketplace group a supercharger. I am going to supercharge the Porsche 928. Now this was built by 928 Motorsports back in the day. I don't know if they still make them, but it's essentially, if you look at it, it's a turbocharger, except it's driven by a belt off the engine. So technically it's a supercharger. So turbochargers run off the exhaust gases and then turn the turbine. Superchargers run off of the engine, the crank, and turn a turbine and a compressor, basically. This is compressing air, putting it inside. So we compress more air, we compress more fuel, and we make more power. Now, I'm going to be rebuilding the engine to spec out so it works with the supercharger, which means you can't run really high compression. We'll probably lower the compression a little bit. We got the heads off, we got everything off. We're going to probably do pistons and just have a lot of fun rebuilding that. And I'm not looking for stupid power. I'm looking, if it made 350 horsepower, I'd be thrilled. That would be plenty for that car. And I'm not going to race it. That's a great street car kind of power level. And then it'll make that great whining supercharger sound. So I'm stoked about this. Thank you, Jake, for helping me out with this. And we got this car was only on a car for about 4,000 miles. And these were about 7 or 8 grand for the full stage 1 or stage 2 intercooler version of this kit, which is what this is. So I just traded some parts for it, which is, if you're a car guy, it's the best thing you can do. Instead of hard-earned money out of your pocket, just trade some parts and everybody's happy. Now, the Cannonball Audi is in here. And the reason that's in here is we're gonna get the AC working. I actually don't own a vehicle with working air conditioning. The Audi doesn't work. The ambulance doesn't work. So this summer, both of them are going to get working air conditioning. The ambulance probably is going to be like a vintage air kit we'll put on it. We'll look at that. But this is actually just trying to find old parts for it. So we found new old stock AC parts for the Audi. We found on eBay. We got a new receiver dryer for it. And Matt's going to put that in. We've got some old R12 we're going to throw in there and see if it works. So hopefully I'll be cool this summer instead of sweating in the Audi like I did last summer. So that's why the Audi's in here. Finally, let's finish with the Twin-Targa 911 limousine Rocky Aoki machine. Now, as you can see, not a whole lot's been done to it, but we have taken off a bit of the front suspension. That's the reason it's up on blocks and right now. The reason for that is we are going to remove all of the bad steel up front. Now, I showed this in one of the earlier videos, that all this is rusted out. We've ground it back, and we've taken a good look at it, and this entire structure here and this structure here have to be replaced. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to patch up steel. It's actually much easier to cut out entire panels and put in a fresh panel. Luckily, a company called Restoration Design in Canada makes the panels from scratch. So this is the front panel here, which will go on like that, and that's where the locking mechanism is. And
it has a few compromised pieces to this one. So the reason we replaced it was I didn't have to deal with all of this steel and rust in here, and it was too complex. Actually save hours by putting that in. The more important piece of steel is the pan up front. Now, the pan is responsible for a few things in a Porsche. Most importantly, it holds the front suspension. That's what these bolts are right here. The front suspension arms bolt to this pan, and if this is compromised, then your suspension is going to get all cattywampus and weird, and essentially, you know, it could fail completely. And we have big rust holes in ours, so this has to be replaced. And then we replace that, you have to replace some other parts. Essentially, there's little reinforcements that go in here, and then this piece drops on top and gets welded on, and this essentially boxes in the front end, gives it a little bit more structure, and this is where the fuel tank sits up front right here. And then this little panel for the 74 on cars sits there, and that's what helps hold the battery in. So we will replace all of this. Now, obviously, it's a little difficult to do this. You want to make sure in a unibody car that these panels go in straight, otherwise the car will never align. And if you get a little bit twisted or a little bit off, things can go haywire. So we're going to work with my friend Dave Stoltz from Pacific Flyer Engineering. He's going to bring this into his shop. Now this is actually a big deal because Dave restores like GT40s for Canapa. He did the first Duesenberg. He is literally a master fabricator. And what we're going to do is bring it down to his shop, not too far from here actually, and he's going to work with us over a couple of weeks. We're going to get to work with him, a master fabricator. He's going to teach us some of the tricks. And we're going to redo the steel up front. We're going to do some of the stretch steel in the middle. We're going to hopefully put in a little bit of a roll cage, and we're going to get this completely sorted steel-wise. But the opportunity to work with Dave is really what I'm most excited about. He is amazing. I worked with him for years at Canapa, and watch him just turn something, you know, a raw piece of steel into some master piece of art. He did a 275 GTB Ferrari almost by himself there. That was just a work of art when he was done. So I don't know if this car deserves his skill level, but he's agreed to work on it, so I'm absolutely thrilled. So that's the next step. We'll be taking this thing down. So that'll be the next video for the Targa, is probably all of the steel work, taking it down there, get it started with Dave in a few weeks and see what we can do. So you're all caught up. That is everything that's going on at the garage. I will catch you up on more once we get a little bit more done, and hopefully I'll see you at Radwood with the Hippie 928. And yeah, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, all the things to help us grow a channel. Please buy a shirt in the link below, and you know, help us support it, help us keep us going. I'm always excited to do these things for you, and it makes me happy, and I hope it makes you happy. So thank you once again, and I want you to have a great day.